Tadring ngatu yanjan de zadawak de chin de nyam de ane chuxie te ma ji gen go zu ju sun la de nga be gao chong si jiang nyam de.
Very happy to be beginning another Monday of our Sukhavati practice together with all of you, and with some instruction that I'd like to give.
我的那的站呢，做的等下去，到去年里南就的新新的，到我爸个去年里去个有的，伊呢，到给住，我说了，等你就有的站呢，你对吧？讲吧嘛，对的吧，咱嘛应吧，你得了进这些讲嘛嘛，去个这些就得讲嘛嘛，等你这些哪三年你得了下去。 And
so usually we do our Sukhavati practice on this day, but I want to take advantage of having interpreter to give a bit more of teaching this evening, and do the recitation practice in a condensed way tonight.
Today, the Chane, I saw Chitang Dada Zumpoloni video toning at you, the Sine. The Metamin Toyasine, the Shiguri, Pena, Katam, Malaysia, and Singapore, and Ghana, Australia, Tendrining Alakazan, Kabatang, the Chigado, and the country, Tawaraki, Chiran Chute, the two unique Absung, and the Chute Ningus, and the Hajayabondos. And it's a lava mixer, Tada, Singapore, Malaysia, Tisoni, Ta Obami, any Yami, she which is last, it's that the security. The lady Tane, Koranzo Gawa, she which can do, any take a junior train. Tangaka Loma, Sanin de la Melige, any Singapore, Malaysia, such a Kawani unit, Chiranzu, Dizon Toloni, and Tongu, but it's Hamalange, and in Kham the town, and it Trashi delight.
And with the added advantage of when we're making a video of the teachings, that it can be made available and seen by students around the world, which they've expressed their appreciation, especially in Malaysia and Singapore and Australia. I've received calls about how much they appreciate it. And I want to say hi to all of those people, Tashidale, to all of them, and welcome. And especially in Malaysia and Singapore, the practice of Buddha Amitabha is very pervasive, very popular. They love that practice, and so that's an added factor that makes them especially appreciate having access to these teachings also.
다 드랭 아주 추근 의지되라 다 대신싱적 다 바크 주냐는 시기요리 의지가 추的마실 뭐나 아니 마선 흔로그 주체 가시지 쉬나 사업성시.
So our main practice will be our Sukhavati Buddha Amitabha practice, but I thought I'd give a little bit of an introductory say a few words about the preliminary stage of our practice this evening.
타 로아심진 탐지 진로소디 용서조바 참아되니 타 대완되바당 아니 도하면되반 타지도 지바리시.
All sentient beings have the exact same aspirations to be free of suffering and dissatisfaction, and to be conjoined with happiness and fulfillment.
chama sem kalsa chama de rewan de chikpare si ta miyo de chikpare si.
So everyone really has the same ultimate aspirations, same wishes.
Ne du chane ta dewa te la yang khashi ke tinji dewa pen nang bu chu na ni shi ne tinji dewa se ya chi la ne mi be dewa se ya chi she ke yure ti dewa te ani tambe chu lam la ti ne ani nyam le se ne ti kap se ani rang gi chi tem du chu ni ke na ne spa se ya ti Marek Panduji number Shiba Minda Chimji to Ripa Choa Spa, this Spa the set. This Spa the set, Charlie Caps any need to Drubchen Karten, Sanjay Karten, Sanjus Karten. Caron you Tomna, any tea cups, any Devalana Mipa. They were cheaper than Papas. They were no matter telling this.
So if we're going to attain really special happiness or unexcelled happiness, ultimate happiness, then that comes from putting an end to cyclic rebirth and samsara. If we look at the 12 links of interdependent origination, of ignorance and karmic formation, consciousness, name and form, the 6 sources, contact, feeling, craving, grasping. And then there's the links of becoming and birth and old age and death. And it's particularly this link of becoming, which is the karma that propels the next rebirth. If that can be stopped, if that point can be, if the links can be severed, it's at that point that if one can stop ordinary rebirth through the karma that propels that rebirth, which is called becoming, then one can attain the ultimate happiness, unexcelled happiness, stable or everlasting happiness, such as attained by the Shravakas and the Pratyeka Buddhas when they attain liberation, and the Buddhas when they attain enlightenment.
Tangaranchu daten jiktinji kamni dewa sedu chane pena churan deo imbe se machila kejati na Hawaii se na I am fine sekre pena churan deo imbe se na nga deo in sekre di deo ka cheji te kawala jaga yure se na cheji te lu ku chowa ka dewa chi lu chor ka dewa chi la pena ta dungal sung ka nani chaban duzi ji dungar te ha mawa chi de Dunghe ji dunghar tan juru dunghar ni te mi tsam. Dunghe ji dunghar tan juru dunghar ni te mi tsam chikla. Te pa tar tsam chikla. Ani nga dewa yin si. Ta tali chila ngun zangwa yore si.
And in common parlance, we say, "How are you?" Doing fine. And when we ask that question and we answer it, what are we really thinking about? What are we checking? Out of the different kinds of feelings, and it's mainly physical feelings that we're checking, and out of the different kinds of sufferings, in the three categories, there's the pervasive suffering of conditioning, which we remain mostly unaware of, don't recognize it, it's kind of subtle. And then there's 2 other kinds of suffering, which is suffering of change and suffering of pain. And so it's mainly, we're looking to those 2 categories. Are we experiencing something that's suffering? Well, it's literally called suffering of change, but it's experienced more as happiness. What we think of as happiness compared to the obvious suffering of pain. And so we check, are we feeling suffering of pain and dissatisfaction, or are we feeling that relative happiness? It's mainly between those 2 categories that we're checking. So when we answer that question, we say, I'm fine.
Inayang nga dewa yin siyade, tata nga tsu dewa yin siyade. Dewa yin siyade, tu rinyu maris. Dewa yin siyade, tinji dewa lana me pa. 조부 산지가 공방 톱니 못이라 아니 나 되어 인시다. 당연히 그 되어 때 될 의식이 이러지.
And so we may say I'm fine, but it's not entirely accurate. You know, it's not really the time to say that I'm truly fine. When we'll really be fine, that's when we'll be a Buddha, when we'll be a fully enlightened being. Then we'll be really fine.
Pena gas kala choju ku yauna tabakala gas. Gas ke me ke mase ke partela shabd ni me but me de mase na 디 하양 난게 쳐데 파파파파파 쳐데 크되오나 쳐 다모지로나 쳐데 만 잠도 그러와 쳐데 만 잠도 그러와 다 저랑 그 빼는 쳐 다모지로나 다 쳐데 만 잠서 저 쳐데 그흠도 삼사지 다 같이 초라 동안 운지로 왔다 마음에도 빼나 유로 동하지 동한 니데 애니 지 미사야도 수야당 지 와 탑시 짐바시네 파 다르잠지 조야도와 응은이 차반 두지지 동안 게스 그 메트 코라 마마세 빠드 차반 두지지 동안 때코 짜와 니는 가라도 고 마사 빠드 니 동안 지 가르세가 파인시야 nga 데보인시야 그 체기데 로유 말이시네
메마 아바거나 그래 타기메
타바칼라 초쿠 야라 초쿠 야도 초쿠 되라다 초 크데도 디나는 초 다모지로는 초 마차로 그러와. 초 다모 같이는 타바나는 샤우 게스트 메가 마세 빠드 초도 크데 그러다. 가르치고 있는 게스트 메다 마세 야와이나 아니 초도 크 차로 그러와. 대인다지 초 차오 칼 초 다모 같이 lok되네요. 대가서 초도 다 크면도 상상하지 난 그러와. 다 같이 I am fine 시야데 초 차오지 칼 초 다모지로나 만 잠들 당아 루루리서 나 되어 인상바지 나 그러와. 이네 I am fine 시야데 게스 그 메다 마세 야와이나 콧다 메미디 초크 말아. 빼 디나이 강따짱 동하지 문저 그 동하니 주베 동하땅 동하지 동하니데 자르잠지게 가서 친구요 말이지. 대는 누구요 말이지. 파미 잠지 되게 주 저한테 가서 차반 두지기 동안 다다 때문에 주니는 스파시시게요.
So that subtle suffering of pervasive suffering or suffering of conditioning is what then really drives the whole mechanism of suffering. If you can compare it to, say, boiling water in a pot on the stove, you know, as long as that fire is turned on underneath, that water is going to be ready to boil at any time. And that's kind of like the conditioning of suffering, ready, always there, underlying. And then the suffering of pain and the suffering of change is more a matter of temporary measures that we're taking. So we pour in some cold water, and now the water is, okay, you can put your finger in it or something, it doesn't burn. You say, okay, I'm fine. And yet everything's continuing to heat up and be ready to boil again. Again, we pour water and say, okay, everything's fine. It's temporary measures. And so for real happiness, it's not sufficient to just get away from suffering for a little while or sort of fool ourselves into being content with some kind of slight lessening of the suffering. Until that fire is actually turned off, there's always going to be the heat coming of suffering.
Ordinary. That indeed do tani. The Dongharte not deli simchi. At the Dongharte not deli simchi, Kham sung simchi de la. And is you make ninja chimbochi. Jeta, this simchi dona, Dewat Dina, Deva Lanamiba, Sanjaka Compang, Deva Lanamiba the Tona, Jeta, Sambake.
So you think about all of the living beings throughout the different realms of existence. There's 3 realms of existence, which you speak of, the desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. And we think of all these beings being enmeshed in suffering continuously like this, with never a real instant of freedom from that suffering, and to bring up in yourself a feeling that you just can't bear it. It's compassion, feeling that this suffering of living beings throughout the three realms is unbearable to me.
Zume ki ninje. Di zume ki ninje. Di ta dazi ninje zamji na nga zu pinga madwa. Ta di ninje ki lamnan rodu. Oh. Di simchin te na devata dimba tabshi kanri ji shigodo. Tabshi la ani dambe chu nyamlen se ne. 소수 생고 동안에 아니 지 냠len세네. 주 냠len세야를 마도 임바 탑시 가면 만독상 바지.
And we think about how these living beings can find happiness, how they can experience happiness, and realize that it's only through Dharma, it's only through a path of internal development that they can really reach any kind of sustainable and lasting happiness.
아니 취세야 되라양 제나 제땅게 거니 더 주로 망보진 잡을 링강의 유리 배나 다지 예수당 아니 예수당 아니 무슬림당 힌두당 아니 부디스타 때 망보진도 안 잡을 링강아 주로 참아대 아니 지 몇개 주봉 그 추춤 지 뜻이 거대 파제 직바다지 와 자가 유리 주로 가리토니 생군도 정수 저는 로고요나야 소수셀 핑기요나 제발 요 말이 가리토 남수네요.
And there are different spiritual paths and religions in our world, such as Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and they all pretty much have some kind of code of conduct, of actions that are better to be abandoned. And any of these spiritual paths, religions in the world that bring benefit to people, or are useful and beneficial to living beings, it serves the same purpose.
다디 잠벨랭 그 줄로 참아가 나니 지 셈드 종시하게 따르유 봐. 부디시 필로소피스거도 배나 따르유 봐. 든지게 지 셈드 종시하데 다 남바야슈. 남바야슈다 지 그서리지.
And for bringing your own mind under control, for this, there's pretty much probably nothing that surpasses Buddhism for that endeavor in terms of Buddhism's philosophy and practice.
근데 전에 다 담배 추가 남라 띠네. 네 심지 때나 대화도 됨도 탑시시기. 니마 드레니 종대 나랑게 담배 추야 아버지 냠는 시기 삼바. 근데 지금 다 공동해야 돼. 공동 삼바 잠보해야 돼. 담보 열심히 동할 날들이 된데 질러 삼었다. 이 동할 날들이 심지 때남 동할도 간디시 잘고요 봐. 간디시네 살고요 봐. 대삼은 이바당. 아니 삼은 이바 강이 숨발라. 다 담배 취를 마동도 삼은도 디가는 냠니 시기 냠니 세바대 나랑 그 치도 많이 봐. 심지 인도 그 치든 다 치든 냠니 시기 인사 봐.
And so for this purpose, then we develop a strong motivation and determination to practice the Dharma ourselves as purely as we can. And so it's this threefold process now. We're first of all thinking about the suffering of sentient beings, how they're tormented by suffering, feel compassion, unbearable compassion, wanting to free them from that suffering. And then secondly, realizing that it's Dharma, it's internal development, which is really the means to bringing about that freedom from suffering. And then thirdly, well, therefore, I will apply myself to the practice of Dharma, and not for my own sake, but for the sake of all of these living beings. And so that is in the stage of setting our motivation. So with this kind of motivation, then let's recite the 4 immeasurable thoughts which we have on the handout. So as I often say, compared to the main practice we're doing, that the preliminary stage of practice of setting our motivation, setting our intention, is even more important and more profound, and that is what actually determines whether the main practice will be effective, pure, or not. So the preliminary stage is all important. So let's recite this in English, thinking about not the word so much as the meaning and the kinds of things that I was just explaining about setting our motivation. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from highest bliss, free of suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from prejudice and delusion. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from highest bliss, free of suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from prejudice and delusion. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from highest bliss, free of suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from prejudice and delusion. Normally I take 5 minutes of time to meditate on these 4 immeasurables. But since we are going ahead with the recitation, and I want to give some instructions this evening, we won't take that time right now, but just with having thought about it well and set our motivation and recited this, then we'll go on.
Ta kongdo sheba nanjin ri chuseya de chama de sem juju tongzen yin de zane nga ke yan di tep de ani chi dadang la samno matang wa yin chi dön la samno tang ne ani ta devi khorang ke ani logic sing yin ka le jan ngene dadang chi ma tön de ba yin de yin ke yan jang ko ni jur go ya su yo ma re ko jur chare yine dön de la ke chi bo yin de zane 마음바 벽 남부 취대 니 롱발라 아메리게 롱발라 다고 자고이나 지난주 밤이 깨게 토라. 밤이 깨게 토니 만 되는지 야데 빼마스 깨진 버리. 왜 다당 토는 되야데 다 깨진 버리. 저 당지 다지 사비요리 직들아 야보리 직 수용사의 변의 야용도 자는가 주양 벽에 담보들도 자가르게도 방가와도 tran자 바람마다 벽에 드시네 그 담보 자게 걸에 자게 자게 이나양 조조의 가르리시나 들 심주주 다제리 추시도 자는 심주주 다제리 심주주 가래가 땅걸신데 라당 그 땅거 요 말이 된거 땅거 요리 근데 자네 아니 드랭 맞주 된데 마 인실을 줘야지 된데 마 되는 인시.
Okay, so as I've been mentioning, that the main practice is internal transformation. It's for transformation of our mind. And for this, it's in the practice, the recitation that we're doing, the most important thing is to be thinking about the meaning of what is being said. And for this purpose, and especially if Tibetan Buddhism is going to be sustained, it's going to be carried, it's going to move into American culture, English-speaking culture, then it's going to be, very important for prayers to be said in the language of our parents. In this case of English, in this country. And so, the reason we put this together was to have a chantable English and to have the English meaning very accurately represented. Because otherwise we had, texts that we could chant the melody of the Tibetan with, but we took a year to do this for this purpose. That the main thing is not the melody and the chanting and the beauty of the music. Yes, the Tibetan language is important, and for us to chant in, and it carries blessings, and it is the vehicle by which these teachings have come to us and is blessed for those reasons, and we definitely always want to maintain it and respect it, just like we do with the Indian language, which we receive the teachings from India into Tibet, and so we leave certain things in the Indian languages, such as Sanskrit, out of our reverence for that language through which the teachings came to us. But because of these things, these different kinds of issues, I want to chant in English tonight as we gradually make this kind of transition to chanting in our own language. So I think it's over the decades, over the times to come, it will be an important thing in the future.
당보티스 갈래 가오 용도 가오레시 인지기 책대 자미 이게 자익다 부인인다이나 책 딱딱딱딱딱 리아요 거랑 인지기 책대 참산의 랭 참산의 통 근데 이제 자니 디슨 참산의 갈래 가보 용도 가오레시 당도 값이 이 갈래 곰나 갈래 곰송아이나 그래서 때 아버지 차그리 딩거 놓치 이 참에 인지 돌아마 다 지난주 많이 지지 인지리다 좀 가래가 좀 알아라고 요리다 디능에 부익 돌 가래 말라되기.
And it may be a bit uncomfortable at the beginning. It takes some getting used to. Tibetan language and Chinese language are a bit different structured with the syllables, where it's fairly easy to create lines of specific lengths of syllables. Whereas English, there's words of shorter and longer syllables, more and less syllables. And so there can be some difficulties with English in being able to chant it. So it'll probably be, uncomfortable sometimes at first. But as we get used to it, it would get easier.
근데 이제 자네 당 듣지 마치다 가서 당 남중에 다디자 나그 담보 보여토니 마 당디 지난 좀 알아 최효시 지난주 가는 니기 지효시
Okay, so
세등에 보여 누가 요라 지난주 인치 땅
and so since we have it in the same melody, I will give the melody, and I'd like you to chant along in English as I chant in Tibetan. Gone, Om Nang Se.
고네이다
Okay, so we'll be starting from the very beginning, stage 3.
oi na se ananda rajya
Throughout spaces, 10 dimensions, in pure world, spontaneously auspicious. Please may all be auspicious for us. Image elbows, head and Drubkhang. Beg and drop and thinking of all gadget exalted as merits and darkness, seeing all such and beings of it well. Mind satisfy yourself, whose names just spread auspicious bliss. Homage to the Tathagatas, youthful Manji Vajapani, Lord Lokeshwara Mejenath, Siddhi Garbha Nivasambhini, Akajagara Samadabhana, Holy Hashimos of Buddha, Vajra White Lotus Naga Tree Jewel, Moon Sword Sun supremely auspicious. Homage to the Bodhisattvas, jewel and salt auspicious goldfish, rich granting face, beautiful lotus, sweet sounding hearts, good unending knot, victory banner, wheel of control, holding eight precious auspicious hands, all triumphant offering feeling is, big goddesses such as she of grace, who thinking of bestows bliss on me. Great Brahma Ishvara and Vishnu, Indra, great kings, Dhritarashtra, Viruddhaka, Virubhajan, Vajravana, holy cloth barrier, a trident, short spear, and the Vajra, loose swords to bar, victory banner, spreading goodness throughout the 3 realms. Homage to the 8 world protectors, in all actions that we start here now. May all bloodshed arms be pacified, joys increase and wishes be fulfilled. May all be perfect Ma Ba Mi La Re Ba Gam Bo Ma knowing the three times karma by for measuring minor lineages, Vita Zala Juba and so on, who gave Mahamudra and Dzogchen, Kardu Lama blesses to upon your lineage and your example, since revulsions, meditations base, detached from food, wealth, veneration. Bless us to be great meditators who have fully given up this life, since devotion, meditation, and bless us with our great meditators, unfeigned faith, always praying to the Guru who reveals the instructions, since non-distractions meditation. Bless us to not part from our object, fixed right on the unfabricated, as the nature of all that appears, since thus nature is Dhammakaya. Bless us to see whatever appears as its unceasing display, and that samsara nirvana are non-dual. May we in our lives be liberated from perfect gurus and joy dharma, complete as stages, qualities, and soon they watch our Western lotus land of bliss, deathless Lord Buddha Amitabha, we pray that blessings and siddhis to attain our innate Lokesha Vajabani great Alasa Vigos, we pray that blessings and siddhis to attain our we beg that blessings and siddhis to attain our innate Buddha. Blessed are cities to us in our innate Buddha. Also die double cheek there. In these I go for refuge, to settle in Buddhahood. I bring forth bodhicitta, Namo, 3 jewels of refuge, 3 roots. In these I go for refuge, to settle in Buddhahood. I bring forth bodhicitta, Namo, 3 jewels of refuge, 3 roots. In these I go for refuge, to settle in Buddhahood. I bring forth bodhicitta. Okay, going to the second line of page 38 now. Out of purity's expanse. Everyone in chant in English now. Everyone chant in English, except for me. May offerings fill earth and sky, unceasing storm Rata, and goddesses puja, water-born lotus flower. I am white Lokeshwara, in front on lotus seat is red Amitabha Buddha. One face has in equipoise, holding All's bow-wearing robes, seated in Vajra posture. To his right white Lokeshwara, one face, 2 hands held in prayer. Two hands hold beads and lotus. He stands on lotus and moon. To his left Vajrapani. One face, two arms, blue in hue. His hands hold bell and vajra. He stands on lotus and moon. Buddha's bodhisattvas and Shravaga arhats abound. At the three beams, three places, the from three letters goes out, bringing them from their Come here and rain down your great blessings. Please empower lucky, faithful ones, and clear false guides and blocks to light. On vari-colored lotus and moon, Amitabha deity, please stay. Watching over beings with compassion, sworn to act as a refuge for beings. Homage you poised in infinite light. Om Amitabha Benza Samaya Kada Calls five family Buddhas is empowered Amitabha's cry. Buddha Amitabha's form, though Buddha has no stain in it, presages our own cleansing. Om Sawa Tata Kata Abhigya Kati Samaya With soft-scented white cloth I shall dry Amitabha's form. He's unstains, but it portends our freedom from suffering. With these divine saffron robes, I clothe Amitabha's form. Though your form does not get cold, it bodes well for our brilliance. Oh, lovely jewelry offered to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They don't wear jewelry, but it's auspicious for majesty. Oh, in trade, drinking water, we offer Buddhas and their sons. They've no thirst, but it heralds our freedom from suffering. Whom to bless Amitabha's feet, foot bathing waters offered. My normal form rises as yellow bathing goddess who makes offering to his feet. who to please Amitabha's eyes. I offer lovely flowers, my normal four eyes as a white flower goddess who makes offering to his eyes. Who to please Amitabha's nose, I offer fragrant incense, my normal four eyes as a blue incense goddess who makes offering to his nose. Who to please Amitabha's hand, I offer a shining lamp, my normal form arises as a red lamp goddess who makes offering to his hand. Who to shine Amitabha's form, I offer fragrant perfume, my normal form arises as green perfume goddess who makes offering to his form, to increase his splendor more. I offer the best of foods, my normal form arises as golden food goddess who makes offering to his God. Whom to please Amitabha's ears, I offer music to hear, my normal form arises as golden music goddess who makes offering to his ears. Whom to please Amitabha's form, I offer a Dulmo sword, my normal form arises as a beautiful consort who is offered up to him. Om Benchen chief of which is white mustard, I offer the Buddha me, two collections complete, Mangalam Adda Siddhi, whom made auspicious symbols, chief of which is a well face. I offer the Buddha me, these complete two collections, Mangalam Kumbhahum, seven precious royal objects, like the wish-fulfilling jewel. I offer the Buddha me, I complete the collections. Om Mani Ratna Om. Four lands with some continents, I offer the Buddha me, two collections be complete. Om Ratna Mandala Om. As I offer nectar to my refuge Amitabha's, my normal form mentally, becomes a natural goddess and makes offering to you. Kindly grant others and me common and services, as I offer for my refuge on the times, my normal form mentality becomes offering goddess, who makes offering to you. I grant others and me common and services, whom I offer red drink to, my refuge Amitabha, my normal form mentality becomes offering goddess and makes offering to you. Kindly grant others and me common and Pancha Amin Balinda Rakta Karamakai unchallenged by Brahma and Indra, I praise and bow to the space like Dharmakaya of Vajra speeches, best of speech, unchallenged by dragon's roar, unchallenged by sweetest song, kindly watching over us. Amir Sambhagakaya, whom Vajra mind is best of minds, looking after his welfare. Even Brahma and Indra can compete with your kindness. Amir Nirmanakaya, all I've done through ignorance to offend Amitabha, confess Banza Sato, Om decline body Samaya, confess homage to your form, decline Samaya speech, confess homage to your speech, decline Samaya mind, confess homage to your name. Om Riso Benza Sato Om Benza Sato Benza Sato Mahakarana Vajrapani Buddha's Bodhisattva's measureless. I pray to you with a focused mind. Please grant me the supreme attainment. Rest me to Lokiteshvara. One face, four arms, words bear joy and lore. Pair holes, crystal beads, and white lotus. Hair tied up, adorned with silks and jewels. Sit have song inside a lotus. At my heart is Amitabha. All three figures as in from within. Complete pure land of Sukhavati. Around Saba's mantras should go right. From his eyes forth multicolored light. Great shine out from my brow throughout space. Honors Buddha's Bodhisattva's done. Brings their blessings to this all in me. All these obstacles and harms are cleansed. They gain luck for Sukhavati birth. The whole of me comes Sukhavati. Beings transforming to Amitabha. Parents, children, male, female become Arya Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The mantra sound destroys samsara. All sentient beings with and without form attain the state of Amitabha. Red trees like a garland of coral, leave my mouth enter Amitabha's, merging at heart, exhorting his mind. Again the red remantra garland leaves his navel and re-enters mine, merging in my heart like as it is, from the whirling bright lamp like mantra, space between vari-colored light rays, go to Sukhavati in the west, merging in Buddha Amitabha, delighting his body's speech and mind. From him comes all sights Amitabha's, from his speech red mantra garlands, and from his mind red five mantras, coming like a blizzard they dissolve into the bright deity and day. From the right circling mantra, around the red reason moves, at front and base Buddha's hearts blushed and false habits of living as disease dry up, like frost struck by the sunlight. Nectar from the big Buddhas, form streams forth filling the waves. Namo Bhagavate Amitabhaya Tathagata Arahate Sammabuddhaya Tayada Om Amite Amitabhave Amita Sambhave Amita Vichende Amita Gamena Kana Katakar Sarakleja Sarayam Kare So Om Pelbar Rinpoche Vaja speech broad of voice teaching earthlessness. Vajra mind and changing beyond projections. The king of the body of that embodied. Speech and mind leader Amitabha. Perfecting life practice achievements. Body, speech, mind, qualities and deeds. May we accomplish great good fortunes. Anything that I did now, because of my name, or lack of ability, may you be patient with me. Om Benzer Sato Samaya Manubalaya Benzer Sato Denova Dita Dendo Mebawa Shujo Kaya Mebawa Shujo Kaya Mebawa Hanerato Mebawa Sava Gama Shikame Chikan Shiriyam Kuru Ha 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 Ho Banga Ven Sava Datang Atang Benjamin Benja Benjil Bhava Mahasamaya
Teke any Jirim da Zorum Nyamja the Jitop. She did not like the big upset in the Shia. The days that Nyamja capse any Jirim da Zorum Latine and then Dungeon and Kalangombo Bami sat up. That did doing the Pachiran to get trained to him, lucky you the Chane, sick at the carriage chicken of Tambo Chupa. Any tuba, any shaba, any genie, any tudankon, any gombo bamila, any tajimi basoatam, any army de aris in Bataya. Tangombo bami drugu, la drugu, Tizani, that's hama, any songs.
So the practice of Tantra can be divided up into generation stage and completion stage, and periods of meditative equipoise and subsequent attainment. And during the periods of meditation, meditative equipoise, in this practice, the meaning is, is understandable. Basically, you're visualizing Buddha Amitabha, Sukhavati Pure Land before you, make offerings, make praises, we do confession and purification. Then there's the single-pointed requests made to Buddha Amitabha and the recitation of the mantra. So we won't say any more about the recitation today, which would be fairly understandable. Of course, there's a lot to talk about if we do get started on that, but we won't right now.
Please bless me. I am very sick. I have problems. I have problems. Then say, Nachi, Yungumoto, Mimi, Yungumoto, Nakando, Siti, Nala Pachi, Mambo, Yungo, Secadua. Then Majimba Chilang, a chap yoguri, Tingumodo, Penechiran, Sola Kangan, and Alat and the Chilau, Chirans Dana de Choa the Maji too. And the Gomba top say the pets are chimbol, Chirans de top, Gomba top, and in Dujinam Kalang Gombo, Obama, you, Stambasin, and it Dela, Tatina, Yinsene, and in the Batsachi Martin Baina. Hachi Pingri think those stick, Jaja, Naran Yam Yunguton, Naran Shirita. When a Nala Kanga Mambo in Tenyo, I Lutina, Nala Kanga, Tataya Kanga Mambo, Pen the Pug, such a liner, that thing's on Pele Kanga Mambo in Teddy. The lady standing Nagan, Madame, Samalakang and Teddy. Yimpa Kajikayamado. Touching Mullere, Machian, Lalere, Chusubana, Yinchi, Mullere, China. Mega Malata, Kanya Robashito Malata, Sosu Gomba talk. And then the Yanam Kalang Gombo Obama, you somebody Gomba talk, teach water and Beijing Martin and the Sivana. And it's also same Kangayang, Ranging or Chick. Any Jessica and Nibana Chikorana Levko. And in Malaya take a pin talk to that. And Chiranza the Nisina voice are.
So people often come to me, saying, well, I'm sick, or I have these problems, or I have these obstacles in my life, please bless me, please help me. And, I really don't think of myself, as Rinpoche is saying, as somebody who can heal or remove obstacles from my side, So, really what I advise most of all is this very practice. Going through this practice and then doing the dissolution, dissolving the Buddha Amitabha and all the holy beings of the Pure Land into oneself, meditating. This is really the way to receive blessings. The power of the mind, the power of meditation is very powerful. And rather than relying on putting our hopes in another human being, let's put our hopes in the divine beings, the deities, and receive the blessings and the healing in this way. Because I can guarantee that it's effective. From my own experience. I experience problems in my life. Things to deal with. Problems, for instance, back in Tibet, my family. There's still a lot of hardship in Tibet. When doing this practice, and then receiving the blessings, feeling those blessings going where they're directed, then this will give us, first of all, a different feeling. We'll feel energy through it. We'll feel peace. We'll feel better from doing this. And people that we're sending the blessings to, that we want to give healing or remove obstacles for, they will receive it too, through the power of this practice, the power of the meditation.
Sanje kan zeba nani ko song tok nani zeba zo de gari sin song gun zeba. Dene de zane sanje tam je ko song gun nu ba yun de ji du ba. Any gombo bami. Labat de tata nima nga do dus. Any gombo bami te. Ngone kata chik sam jin de ngaran sola. Duk lakar, duk lasiat.
And in particular, because Buddha Amitabha is such a potent, powerful source of blessings. Not only the embodiment of the body, speech, and mind, and qualities and activities of all the Buddhas, but in particular, the embodiment of the speech of all the Buddhas. And out of the actions of body, speech, and mind of all the Buddhas is the speech, which is really the supreme of all. It's the way that the Buddhas can really bring transformation to beings. It's the supreme compassionate act of the Buddha to speak, and so not only that, but Buddha Amitabha also made special prayers and connections with our times of special, particularly a lot of conflict and upheaval and degeneracy in the times. Buddha Amitabha, from his side, made special prayers to be able to bring blessings and healing and fulfillment of prayers to beings of this time, of most swiftly at this time. So really, Buddha Amitabha is a deity for our times, a deity of this time.
Jiwola timba kapsa ene luji goni dikpa da driba tamche tasong saba luti ni ene gombo ba mi chi kui rangi na chasong saba ene rinpe yi de marpo te maa rinpa la hlebe kapsa ene ngaga goni saba dikpa da driba ta mege ju nani rinpe yi de ngaga goni jun tama chikzo wancha la soba de kapsa ene nga teni ya ene gombo ba mi ki sung rangi tende chasong tene rinpe yi de maa nyingkala lebe kapsa ene yi ji goni saba dikpa namse da nu sen lokta la soba ene deda chapjik de ene ranga sim teni jang gombo ba mi ji tuki chuju goy rangi na chasong saba gang tar jang ranga lunga yi sumdang gombo ba mi ka kusung tukni ene jikpa jikja yemi ngo jikpa chasong saba o tende jisi ne ta de kapsa jitop sika yuri ta la maa wedu shio yadira.
And as we approach the period of the subsequent attainment, that's what I would characterize as this meditation now, where Buddha Amitabha melts into us. So we've been visualizing Buddha Amitabha in the Pure Land of Sukhavati before us. And so at this point, we now meditate that all of the Pure Land and the holy beings dissolve into Buddha Amitabha in the center, and that Buddha Amitabha melts into light, an orb of red light, which then comes to the crown of our head and dissolves and merges with us. And as it enters the crown of our head, it purifies our harmful deeds of the body, of killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. And our body transforms into the body of Buddha Amitabha. And as the red light then passes down to our throat, it purifies all of our negativity of speech. All the 10 non-virtues of body, speech, and mind are purified. In the case of speech, it's the lying and divisive speech and harsh speech and meaningless speech are all purified. And we feel that our speech is transformed into the speech of Buddha Amitabha. And then the orb of light passes down to our heart, and there all of our negativity of mind, such as covetousness, malice, and clinging to distorted views, are all purified, and our mind is transformed into the mind of Buddha Amitabha. And so at the conclusion we feel that our body, speech, and mind has become one with the very same nature as Buddha Amitabha's body, speech, and mind.
Ta tende chi she ne gomja ene gomja li kap se ta tere nge dong thwa de ma yin de sem go thone gomja de ta de kap se gomja de ene sem go ne lo ka lo la ta gomja go yure chi ta.
And now we meditate. I want to guide us in the meditation a little bit with this verse of inducing the Dzogchen view. Maying, don't wander. When we meditate, we're meditating on the nature of our mind, the nature of awareness.
Ta me mangbo chi ge ani chitang go ni gom la yang gom se ya de sim go thoni gomba da gomba se ya de sim ge nyam nyong gom phel ndo ya la gom se ge de cha ne gom la dam da mangbo ja yi.
So there are many different kinds of meditation which can be done. In general, it's becoming more and more familiar with our own mind.
So the same ne lo ko tongba ni ge de hong go ya de la ni cho de ba gong ya shu de ri.
But the most important kind of meditation is the meditation directly on the nature of awareness, the shunyata, the true ultimate nature of our own awareness.
Ta tende de cha ne gom ja de kap se jie gom dan yo gom si ne ta dang ga chu bu ge sang ha ge chu la ani ge lo dang de ge lo so la ya jie gom si ne ye ani ka ju de ni ma le yo gom ye ri ta ge lo le yo gom ye ri de ta zo de ma chu ka ju de ni ma ge yo gom to ne de si yo gom ja ge ye ri si.
And in Tibetan teachings on meditation, there is a division of meditation into analytical meditation and placement meditation. And the Gelug school does have concentrated meditation or placement meditation, but has more emphasis on analytical meditation than the Khargyu and Nyingma schools, which have placed more emphasis on the placement meditation itself, the single-pointed placing of the mind in meditation. So for placement meditation, we need to sit on cushion comfortably.
So we don't
want to be holding tension in our body, like our shoulders tight up, as Rinpoche is demonstrating, relaxed and through the body and the mind, left gently relaxed.
Not be monkey mind. So
we don't want our mind to be like a monkey jumping around.
Any penna,
now I'm speaking to you, you're listening to me, right? So be aware now of your very present moment of awareness as you're listening to me right now, without remembering past events or calling forth future events, but remaining right on present moment of awareness, right at this very moment as you're listening to my voice. Chiang Ma Yin Ba Tong.
Chia Mayang Tang Sangyan da Chita Pachel Tende Yurich.
And if we try to be aware of the very present instant of our awareness, it's empty. It isn't anything. It's fleeting. It passes instantly.
This same Odila and Salvo.
So that the nature of that mind is clear, luminous.
And you remember in the Tatela Yarji Swaina, and it's similar, Masi Gatuchimbo, Gawachimbo, Gawachimbo.
And as we focus on that present moment of mind, it becomes very blissful.
Namdo Korang Maiba, Namdo the Tarzang.
So not the thought, not any thought or concept arising, but that mind freed of any thought.
Pena Namjunga to Shiagura, Pena Omala Mariuris. Omala Mariuri, Marta Matugna, any Marta Omata Matugna, Marta Tango Marisecura. They did Namto the Pa Madangna, any tea she could obate, younger Mari. They did Omata Tupa Nanji, Martin Bananji Goyuris, Omatug Martin Bananji.
And so the thoughts have to be separated out in order for us to be aware of the bare awareness of our, which is that transcendent wisdom or timeless wisdom of our mind. And it's like churning milk to get the butter. Unless the milk is churned, you won't get any butter. So unless those thoughts are removed, unless they're separated from the mind, unless the awareness is separated from those thoughts, we don't experience that transcendent wisdom of our own nature, of our own awareness.
Namto the Yantachi the Dukja in some the Tilla, not that they my own go somebody till a redosine. Namto Machilik Reva. Ishi Namto Chilik Reva. Ishi Topa Machilik Top Reva. Redo, you are Reva Topa, the Michigo Maris.
But that doesn't mean that we should approach this with a very dualistic kind of mind, thinking, those thoughts are bad, I've got to get rid of them, and wisdom, awareness is good, I need to get it, with heavy kinds of hopes and fears or expectations, or trying. So don't think of it like that. That being very averse to thoughts arising and very hopeful to become aware of the empty nature of the mind.
Penatela, Gypsy Malare Bala, Slomati, the Singate, Tamju the Kaduna Shaker, Gypsy Malare Slomatela, Malare Bakita, Churan Gom Jab Shosi, Gom Jadi, Jamson Dawaji Gom Jab Shosi, Jachimbo, things about the Jamson and Gom Jab Shosi, Tang.
So the kind of procedure to follow is more like what Milarepa gave advice to his disciple that I've mentioned many times before, where he was telling his disciple to meditate like the ocean.
Any Korang Lomateke, Gom Jamson that you do is Jap to the Sene, Tajachimbo Gom Jap to the Sede, and in Namtochi Hura, Namtochi, any Malarepand in the Yasune, and in a Jamso Gom the Delate, and a Balab Gom the Joma de, the Balab Gom the Danga Shurs. Ne Jamson Dawachi go jam in the Yine, Namto Balam Dawat, younger those. And it developed the Melik Taviti Gomji now, cheese in the Ashuris.
And so the student meditated on the ocean, like meditating on the ocean. And as he did so, then thoughts like waves arose. And so he came back to Milarepa and said that it's easy to meditate on the ocean, but more difficult when the waves of thoughts arise. Please give me some method for eliminating the thoughts. How should I meditate on the thoughts?
And Malarepake, 어다테 저랑래 라오레시 가이시나 발압때 잠손이 송아레시 발압때 잠손이 소야 잠소 랑네 송 태야 잠소 랑나 틈시 발압때 잠소 랑네 야 송아레 마틈사야 잠소 랑나 마틈도 그러지 신 남도 대양 신 코는 그 랑니 철송아레 틈사때 신 코는 그 나는 마틈도 그러지 대 독자 인삼바 대 먹어 삼바 된듯이 이거 말이지 남도 올을 때 살레도 냠더니 남도 무슨 받은 냠더니 좋은 거 그러지.
So Milarepa said to his student, "Oh, that's easy. It's not a problem. Those waves of thoughts, when waves arise, they rise right out of the ocean, and when they subside right back into the ocean. So when those thoughts arise, they rise right out of the ocean-like nature of your mind, and they will dissolve right back into it. So there's no need to think of them as being bad. Just let them dissolve right back into the ocean-like mind."
아니 양물라래 바카다 추라 곰데 남칸다지 답이호시 등사부 남칸다지 답네 송시 당니시.
So then Milarepa gave him some new instructions to now meditate like the sky.
아니 거나 곰 남칸다지 잡던데시 데데잖아요. 아니 남도 뒷바다지 요거 요시. 그걸 남도 슬롭팅다도 요거 넣었지. 아니 단 남카 곰도 데라테 슬롭팅 곰도 좀 맞대. 다 슬롭팅 곰도 당화시었지. 뒷바다는 망보지 남카 남도가 된다지 망보지 요거도 데라야 앉아 당화지 나로 지시는 야슈르지.
And so the student tried that, and then came back to Milarepa saying, meditation on the sky is easy, but there's thoughts like clouds that rise, which are difficult to overcome, and it's not comfortable. So how should I meditate on the clouds?
아니 dimmalare yang huma nanji otate pele laoris lopting de songsayan koran namkhani sungu yure tumsayan namkhala thangurisi namdo te dinanjirisi delachi yaboyin de dokya insaba laba de namdo de dokya insaba de samma matangsi namdo ngusim bada nyamda trogorisi.
And again Milarepa said, "Oh, that's easy, it's not a problem. When clouds arise, they rise right in the sky, and when they dissolve, they disappear right in the sky. And so thoughts are like that. They arise from the mind and subside back into the mind. And in fact, and Rinpoche mentioned this in the first instructions also, he said that the very moment that you are aware of the thought, or the nature of the thought, at the very moment that you identify or recognize the thought as arising, it will dissolve. It will dissolve right immediately. As soon as you look right at its nature or identify or recognize it, it will dissolve right back into the mind. So it's not a problem that the cloud-like thoughts will dissolve right back into the sky of the mind. So then Milarepa gave his student another instruction saying, meditate on your mind like a mountain.
아니 거나 곰 다 된대지시네 레잔다지 잡데도 아니 다 양 남도 된대지 제인데 당에 레자르 곰도 데라데 지신 곰도 좀 맞대 다 지신 곰도 당화셔시 다 레니 신라마나 지해요라 된다지 남도 안라마나 지 용거 노스 애니 데라 당화나노 지시네 야슈리시 아니 말아레페 데라양 그만 난신송네 어다데 지신데야 신데야 거나 레이 능리 야지 인주리시 마 틈사야 레이 능는 틈도 그리시 아니 데 남도도 독자인 삼바다 남도도 야봄 지 된데 삼바 맞지 남도 통화다 남도 오시바다 냠다 니 쪼거리시 된데 소리시.
And the student, after meditating for a while like that, came back with the question similar to before, saying that it was easy to meditate on the mountain, but difficult to overcome the tree-like thoughts that grew out of the mountain of mind meditation. And again, Milarepa says that's easy. When trees grow in the mountain, they grow right in the mountain, from the mountain. And when they die, when they decompose, they dissolve right back in to the mountain. And so again, as soon as you see thoughts arising, as soon as you see them arise, if you really see them arise, as soon as you recognize that they've arisen, they will dissolve right back into the mind.
All the name is an that de la de single that the shiba. That the Jiran of Ni Yimbang, a shit Yimbak, that the shame such in the party shiba ding or de la any myings. That the secretary is myings at the ding or the jungle. Myings is like a yet a kawala secretary, the myings at the Namdog Yimang the Masone. That the same with Shiba Sashi Banding or the joy at the mying
So we're taking that very present moment of awareness as our object of meditation. And when we say mying, and don't wander, it's the thoughts that we're not wandering after. We recognize or identify thoughts as arising, but do not follow after them.
That is Janso Tsuksia deke, that young same Luchina, same Luchina, young Namdog Yiwan the shoulder, it's an Tinzekadoni, Tinshige, Pena Humang Eshiura, Neba, Joa, Ripasi, same Jigla, same Nebala, and this is Oji. And in Jua citizen, and in Namdog Jua, Ripasi at the time, the Janso Tsuksia. Oh, when the Namdo Jona, oh, Namdo lives on some kinky godoa. Janso Tsuksia. Sarawachi, Pena and the other sword, I've been a new man to the sword. Godoa, the Janso Tsuksia.
And then come the words extend mindfulness. Okay, and so as we relax, begin to meditate, then again there's a possibility that thoughts might arise. And so at that point you need to rely upon mindfulness and introspection. Mindfulness, remembering what we're focusing on, the present moment of awareness, and checking or introspection that is like a spy. It's like we're checking up to see if thoughts have occurred, see what is happening, checking every once in a while, see what's happening, remembering. And so, as soon as a thought arises, we simply need to have that awareness that, oh, a thought's arisen. Meaning that we're remembering. And so then I talked about these three stages, of the mind. Stillness, and then movement, and then awareness. Okay, so there's the still mind has one nature. Now when movement occurs, that means thought. Some thought has arisen. And so what we need at that moment is the awareness. Oh, thought has arisen. And so at that point then we're extending our mind, we're establishing our mindfulness and our alertness.
And
so, what are we wandering after? The bandits, demonic bandits. But we're not talking about external bandits who would be carrying weapons or something like that.
다 작바데 가르치는 차당 힘베 셈데 되리 송도와 단디나니 차당 차 세야 되게 랑솔 차 당세야 되게 아니 인지 솔 당 차당 디 차당이 되게 아니 가서 니모 동알아서 봐다 된지 요거유라.
So what are the demons we're talking about? The delusions, attachment and aversion, attachment towards our own side and ourselves, aversion towards others, other side. From which all the delusions, afflicted states of mind arise. These are the demons that we seek not to follow after, not to wander after.
디 차당 그 뒤에게 말해봐, 내가 말해봐, 아니 아드 시바데라 아니 마잉 시데라 양스 다고 다 된대리도.
So then we want to look again and again at the nature of our mind, where these bandits, these demons, have not arrived, where they're absent. So look at the illusory nature released from duality. So this means to be aware that both on the side of the subject as well as object, that these are illusory, that they're like a mirage.
Kada mapju ransing unjur basi, ta kada seyade, ta nyuma Dzogchen ki chukechiri, pena kada lhendup seyade, sen kada seyade, tate shiba, kongde shiba nanji, tate shiba soma, tate kechik chik shiba tela seki, di kada mapju ba, tela ya namdo ka mapju ba, ane ransing undu juba de, sanjiri isi.
So this primordially pure, unfabricated nature of one's own mind manifesting is Buddha. So these first words, kada, means primordially pure. Sometimes coming with the word lundrup, kada lundrup, primordially pure and spontaneous. These are particularly Nyingma Dzogchen kind of terminology, where this very present moment of awareness is seen as the primordially pure nature of our own awareness, without fabrication, without any thoughts or ideas being generated. That this, our own very own innate awareness is primordially pure, is Buddha. And it's nowhere else. We settle right where we are.
솔릭 람다 지데 탑다 탑종세야 나지 꽤나 군접 된바 네 거도 군접 된바 네 뜬담 된바세 거라다 근데 지금 네 람텔 띠네 네 산제데 담볼이니 네 람라 마티네 네 람라 띠네 사키 소나고 초사고도 와 사키 소나고 초사 아주 사 쉬바 아니 차시야데 다 너도 시에도 네 산제데 신의 천이야 네 미미 이시지 초지. 내 사기 소남지 초, 내 사미 이시지 초. 근데 내가 아주 지금 너네 직시대한테 참아대 네 산지의 신이 좀 입에 탑. 네 산지의 신이 찬이 못되라 내가 아주 고야요 말다. 산지 신이 있잖아. 산지 신은 미송도와.
So we don't seek Buddha anywhere else outside of ourselves. It might appear that we do at first. Like when we come here, we're looking at the Buddha in a tanka, we're making prayers to Buddha who's in front of us, who seems to be, separate from ourselves. But that Buddha is the conventional Buddha, which is leading to the ultimate Buddha, which is within us. Without relying upon the conventional Buddha, or the path Buddha, there's no way to reach the actual Buddha within ourselves, because relating to the path Buddha, the conventional Buddha, we create merit, we create positive energy, particularly on the conventional level. But when we recognize Buddha within ourselves, and we're talking about the accumulation of wisdom and the actual Buddha, that this all leads to nowhere else than within ourselves.
산지 이는 미듯이 마금 순럽 이인배 산지 이는 초지 미도랑 사쇼 마금 순럽 이인배 자사성시
Without meditation, spontaneous is established, enlightenment is attained.
到底卡张啊，这当家你出用的，那家你出用的，对他你们是多有嘛的，对他当不告诉我去空的了拍的，第一告诉俺的养马去这些，你第一卡在对他这个告诉我们来买力个去让做当的了，看了看上去有点少吧，的那的在那俺的人去给马切啥子样，啊个对的人，蛮多的就马切人些。
And so I wanted to give this brief explanation. This time, continuing from last time, when we have translator present, as I think there might be some people that are fairly new and haven't heard these instructions before.
Yeah. So now
from page 102, we'll go on with the prayer.
应记托你的茶没
Everyone in English. Is right Lord of great compassion, one is lefty with passion, countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, birth in Sukhavati, of violence, joy and may the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas grant blessings and the come true without any obstruction. Yada Benchen Chimé our Buddha Maya into gatherings of rejoice, always to the gather, I offer to you. May Buddha teachings fill the heart, dedicate virtue to all. May our peace become gatherings come, may I get when I pass in my eye, take birth in Sukhavati, for Kham will be Moses, was for that long may my form guide me. So sign every man, Ba